So unfortunately, because I keep coming back and I had a theme, I wrote a song to go with my theme. This is a brand new song, and you're going to sing along on the chorus. And the thing about writing a new song is it kind of morphs as I work. So since I sent this in, it's if I grow what I sow and I reap. There's going to be an I before that reap in there. But so I'm going to go through the chorus a couple times. You're going to jump in with me, and then I'll do the couple little verses. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then carefully I'll choose my seeds. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then abundantly I'll harvest what I seek. Try that with me. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then carefully I'll choose my seeds. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then abundantly I'll harvest what I seek. One more time, please. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then carefully I'll choose my seeds. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then abundantly I'll harvest what I seek. If you want love, love, sow love. If you want joy, joy, sow joy. If you want kindness, sow kindness, until your cup overflows. And if I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then carefully I'll choose my seeds. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then abundantly I'll harvest what I seek. If you want grace, grace, sow grace. If you want hope, hope, sow hope. If you want peace on earth, sow peace on earth, until your cup overflows. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then carefully I'll choose my seeds. If I grow what I sow and I reap what I grow, then abundantly I'll harvest what I seek. Then abundantly I'll harvest what I seek. I read he touched the ungodly and defended women in shame, in an age when hardly anyone dared. I also read he walked on water, but his loving deeds and words say heaven walked on earth. Heaven walked on earth. Buddha taught much about suffering to overcome the power of pain, giving up the family throne for good. And through his life, like Mahatma Gandhi, peace became more than just words I say. Heaven walked on earth. Heaven walked on earth. Yes, heaven walks with every act of kindness, and heaven sees with every thank you and please. And if do more than wonder how to end all hunger, you walk in heavenly peace. You walk in heavenly peace. Molly serves soup to the homeless. Isai sends money to his mom. Sui helps those who are challenged. Abdi tries to right the wrongs. Oh, technical difficulties. I'm righting the wrongs. Heaven walks on earth. Heaven walks on earth. Yes, heaven walks with every act of kindness, and heaven sings with every thank you and please. And if you do more than wonder how to end the hunger, you walk in heavenly peace. You walk in heavenly peace. That may jump off again, but that's okay. There, see? So, what's that? I know, you need some duct tape? That'd be great, right? What's she got on her face? Duct tape? What's the saying? If it moves and you don't want it to, just slap some duct tape on it. That's what we do. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but not all gardeners are created equal. My sister, she lives in California where there's a lot of sun. I go to her place. She's got tomato bushes 6 feet tall, of every color and every shape and every size. Multiples, dozens. You don't even have to bend over to pick the tomatoes. You just cut boom, 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 boom. Oh my gosh, she can grow okra. 10 feet things long, too wide, with okra that are huge. You can go in there for 30 minutes pulling the okra out of there. It's amazing. Cucumbers, you know how we kind of spread them out? No, she puts the little wire thing around it and they climb up. And so again, 6 feet high, you've got cucumbers hanging out. Pop off, eat it like an apple. It's amazing. Eggplant varieties. Who can grow eggplant? She's got every kind. I mean, they're all the beautiful purple, right? But the long skinny ones and the big fat pudgy ones, my shape, my body shape. They're different body shapes, and that's mine. The pear shape. It's like an adventure to go out to her garden. I mean, she'll go out for an hour or more and just pluck the stuff. And of course, you have to eat while you're plucking, but she tends to her plants. She plants the seeds, sows the seeds, and tends to the plants. Her husband is like a soil guru. And so he's out there, adding just the right nitrogen or whatever. I'm like, nitrogen, smitrogen, what are you talking about, right? But no, her garden is absolutely beautiful. So I was inspired. So I've tried some little gardens. I moved to this house in Salt Lake City. They get a lot of sun, a lot of heat. Like, this is a great place for a garden. And there had been a garden where I used to be there before I moved in. So I'm out there, I get rid of the big old weeds, and then I I'm not going to just till this by hand. I'm going to go rent one. So I get the bin out there, and I'm starting to feel my roots, like, my farmer roots from years past, because I've got lots of farmers in my background, so it looks great, right? And then I make the mounds for the zucchini and the crookneck squash and the rows for the whatever and whatever. I can't even remember what all I grew, but I had some tomato plants, and I was like, okay, this is great. So I started watering it. That's what you do, right? Soil schmoil. Who says anything about having to put anything into your soil? No one told me that, taught me that, but I thought, this will work, right? Well, the first set of weeds came up nicely. And I thought, these can't be here. So I went out and I weeded them, right? Second set of weeds came up even better. And I'm like, I do not have time to be picking all these weeds, so we're just going to commingle our weeds with our veggies, right? So you kind of keep them away from the basic plants. So I had my tomato plant. I don't know if it got as high as my knee or not, but that was about it. And then the zucchini was looking great. Oh my gosh, who can screw up zucchini? I got 3. 3. I got 2 crookneck. I got 1 tomato. And I was so proud of that tomato. I went out there and I picked it and I set it down on the grass, and I went over and I was looking through my squash and I looked up and I see my dog eating the tomato. He didn't pull it off the vine. He knew better than to do that. But if you put it on the ground, it's like, oh, this is a little treat. I couldn't even be mad because he was so cute, just gingerly pulling the skin back, right, and eating it like it was like he was savoring it. Yeah, that was my garden. No more tomato that year, but I think my dog enjoyed it. So obviously, though, a successful garden comes with a lot of work. And so that's why my gardens are small, because I figured I can do, 10 feet by 4 feet, maybe a little smaller. I can work that hard, and that much of a garden I can get going. And then I plant things like chives, because you never have to do anything year after year, right? So those are successful. I did discover garlic is another one that works really good every year. So low maintenance gardening. Well, I like this idea of the sowing, how it relates to life. And it makes me think of the parable of the soils in the New Testament, in the Gospel of Matthew, where there's the 4 kind of soils and there's the path. And so the farmer's out throwing the seeds, right? And they land on the path, the birds come along and eat it. Some land on the rocky soil, and so they start to grow roots, but then too much rocks and stuff, so they die and whatever. And that's kind of like my garden. And then there's the third one. Well, the third one too is mine, where you throw it out there, but then all the weeds come up and choke out your vegetables. And so I've got those down, right? The fourth one is supposed to be this wonderful soil, and you till and you get all this wheat 100-fold coming up. I would settle for 2 tomatoes. But 100-fold wheat, if that's a promise, going for it. So I like that. But the idea, the parable really is that, you're sowing the words of God in there and it's growing. But I think it can be anything that we're sowing, right? Where do we put our seeds to start with? So I'm going to talk a little bit about when I say growing what you sow. I'm going to talk about the growing part, then we'll talk about the sowing part, and then I'm going to talk about one extra thing that I'm throwing in like a bonus. So you get a bonus this morning, right? When I first attended my first Science of Mind church, I was struck by the idea that whatever you focus on, you draw to yourself. I liked that, especially since I was jobless. I was sick, I was jobless, I just moved to Seattle, and I'm thinking, oh, I like this. I mean, I'd heard of it before, but really see that they're going after it, right? So I'm like, yeah, this would be great. I think I want this business. I want to start my own business. So I put it out there, right? And now for me, I'm a productive person. So I'm going to get busy, So my idea of it being succeeding is that I'm busy doing what I like doing, and I'm making money while I'm doing it. Well, nothing happened. What is this Science of Mind stuff, right? Well, I'm going to come back to that story in just a second. Y'all, a lot of you know I'm a high school teacher. And I work at an alternative high school, and the reason I say this is because it's a smaller school. A lot of the kids have not done well in the big comprehensive schools, so they come here trying to recoup their credits. And a lot of them are dealing with extreme anxieties or depression. We have homeless kids. We have kids with a lot of trauma in their background, living, maybe their parents are in another state and they've come here for some reason to live with grandmom or something like that. So you have a lot of that going on, and these kids come into the classrooms and they sit. Some of them get busy and they get working on stuff, and it's amazing. And then some just sit in this position. Now, if we don't let them use their phones, that's the natural position because they're usually using their phones, right? But if you take the phones away, they still just sit there like that. And I asked them, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? I want to graduate from, every one of them, I want to graduate from high school. Great. You may have to do something more with your head than this, though. And there will be students that go through the whole year doing nothing. And at the end of the year, it's like, yeah, you didn't pass any class, you didn't get any credit. And so you still have 7 credits. You could have had 13 by now, but now you don't say it like that. I'm just giving you the, because I'll never be mean like that. Neener, you could have got more credits, but didn't. I only do that in my dreams. No, you be compassionate and stuff like that. So, and then there's other kids that have worked real hard, and then they watch their friends graduate, and then the next year they come back and their friends are gone. And they were sure that their friends were going to be there the next year. They're pretty sure that they just could do the next few years like this, and then eventually they graduate. And, that's when I noticed, it's like, okay, you both want to graduate, you both want to get credit, but there's people that are doing the work, and then they're getting that. They're growing what they're sowing. They're working. They were sowing. They had this idea, this dream to graduate, to get credit, and they're doing it. And there's others that have that dream and do nothing, and they come back the next year. The beautiful part is sometimes the next year, or sometimes it's 2 years. I hate to say it, but sometimes it's 2 years. They sit there when all of a sudden they go, wait a sec. I got to pick up a pencil and write something down, open up my computer and get on Google Classrooms. What's this all about? But usually at that point, they're excited. And now they want to get out of there because they're looking at everyone coming in going, you are awfully young and I'm not going to hang out with you, right? So very, very clear. There's a work that needs to be done. So even though that idea of having something out there, but the reason you have something out there, something you're sowing, is because that's what's going to lead you and guide you and help you make your choices. It's not just like, okay, I want to be a millionaire. Let's sit back and watch television, watch it happen. Maybe it's happened. I wanted to send my son to college. At one point, I'm like, because I was divorced, and I'm like, I'm going to show my partner, because of me, I'm going to be able to pay for his way through college, Well, I did, but it's because I didn't have a job and I was broke, so we got a full ride scholarship. So who knew that was going to be that way, right? So, I didn't do anything and I got something out of it, but that isn't usually the case, but I don't want to say that never happens. I loved it when I was on an airplane and someone knew my son was going to Stanford and they go, oh my gosh, well, what's the key? Something about, having to pay for that. I'm like, stop working. I didn't know what to tell him, but I just looked at him and then I thought to myself, it's not paying for it, it's getting into it. Your kid might or might not get accepted. That's the point, a lot of times they'll pay for it if you can't, but it was funny. Anyway, I want to go back to my business. The story I was telling you earlier about the business I started. So it failed. So what went wrong? I was doing my work. I wasn't just sitting around, but what went wrong? Are you ready? Nothing. Isn't this great? I love this religious tradition. Because sometimes the work that we do may need to be adjusted. Sometimes it's just a matter of timing or time to develop to make that business successful. My business, I would say now I'm pretty happy with it. It's my speaking business. I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing, just as much time as I want to be doing it. And the music that I do, it's exactly what I wanted it to do. But there was time involved, connections that needed to be made. I had to go through some changes and stuff to get to where I am today. So I would say, yes, it worked. But if we can get away from that idea sometimes that, it's got to be immediate. Don't give up on something if it's really something you want to do. Sometimes we have a vision out there, and as we move towards it, we realize that's really not what I wanted. But that was the thing that moved us for a while, and then it moves us to something else. So it's the moving, the working, the growing, what you're sowing is a beautiful thing no matter which way it takes you. So growing is working. Growing is the working part. But obviously we know in this tradition also that we're allowing spirit to move. That's the part we don't have control over. And it's also the beautiful part because that's when things can happen. We have no idea where they're going to happen. Like your kid ends up at Stanford with a full ride and you have no idea. That was not my doing, that was totally spirit. But I want to switch now from the growing to the sowing. So the sowing is kind of the intention, right? What do you want out there for yourself? What's the dream? What's the hope that you have? So what do you want? A fast car. Now, that's the nice thing too about this tradition is it's okay if you want something material. Like there are some traditions that, oh my gosh, you can want something material. No, yeah, I want a fast car. You want a fast car? You want a lot of money? Why? Do you want to be a movie star, a rock star, a pro ball player? Why? These are not the things that we necessarily want, but my high school kids will come up with this often. I hear them say, I want to be an actor. Oh, really? So what you want to do is take acting lessons at an expensive college, spend hours upon hours memorizing scripts, and then practicing them over and over while trying to emote different emotions. That's what you want to spend your time doing? Do you want to spend your time working long, long days from early morning to late at night, either acting or waiting to act? No. Oh, you don't want to do that. So what do you want to do? I want to be an actor. What is it that you really want? Fame, money. I want people to think I'm cool. I want to look as nice on the screen as that person does. Yeah, but you don't look like that person. I mean, I was in theater in college, right? And it didn't take long that I realized I don't fit the female mold for going into the acting world. I'm like, okay, I'm too tall. I'm too goofy, whatever it was at the time. I don't look quite right. I'm not pretty enough. That I realized that I'm like, okay, that is the road I wanted to go down. Because I wanted to be another policewoman. Do you remember the policewoman, her, you know? Yeah, I wanted to be her. And that's like, I'm going to do something women don't usually do. That's what I want to do. So, yeah. Then the next one I hear all the time is, I want to be a pro ball player. Really? You want to work out at least 2 hours a day, pumping iron, running sprints, things like that. Then another 3 to 5 hours a day, practicing, not playing, but practicing over and over and over. No. I want to sit here on the couch. So how much time do you actually spend doing that stuff? None, but that's your dream. What is it that you really want? I want the notoriety, I want the fame, I want the money, I want the nice house, I want the chicks or the dudes or both, right? So it is kind of funny because it's like, what do you spend your time on? I don't even make fun of my kids though if they bring up any of that stuff. I don't say what I just said there. That's the the head part where you go, oh really? And you see them doing nothing about what they wanted to do. And I wanted to play volleyball, but you saw me playing volleyball all through high school and every time after. And I got on a college team, and you saw me constantly playing volleyball, doubles down at the beach. I wanted to go as far as I could with volleyball. If I wasn't eating, drinking, or eating or, sleeping or going to school, I was still playing volleyball. Even when I was doing that, I was playing volleyball all the time. Well, the other day I had some students come into my class, new group of students, right? And they were like, can we play a game? Because we played a game the first day. Can we play a game? And I'm like, not today. I'm not quite prepared, because I'm thinking, Now I did youth ministry for a lot of years, so I have so many games I can choose from, right? But I'm thinking, no, they can come up with their own games, because that's a leadership class. I'm like, well, no, how about tomorrow you come up with the game? Oh, I got a game for today? Oh, great. He pulls out his computer, he sets it up, gets his microphone set out. He's like, okay, we're going to make some beats. And then they start like playing some beats and adding, whatever. And I'm like, okay, this really isn't a game, but this guy is totally serious about this, right? So I'm like, okay, this is great. Let's save this for Fridays, because Fridays are short. And my class is Careers in Family and Community Services. It's around anything with your career. And this guy seems really excited about music. So I'm like, okay, Fridays, let's do music. And then if people who don't want to can work on resumes. So here I'm adjusting, right? Because this guy is excited. So then I want to find out more. So I'm like, well, do you have your stuff online so people can hear it and see it? And he goes, oh yeah, I've got blah, 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 100, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, wow, okay. And he goes, and he holds up this phone and he shows me, it's like, on Rap-A-Lot or something. That's not really the app, but we'll call it that. Rap-A-Lot. And then he holds it up and I look at it and he's got 24,000 followers right now. I don't even know that many people, right? I have 2 on Spotify. I got 2 people on Spotify following me, and it's probably different ones. One watched for a while and went, yeah, I'm out of here. And the next one came on, tried it for a while, right? 24,000 people. And I'm thinking, this guy spends all his time doing this. I don't need to ask. I don't need to ask, what do you want to do for a living? And I'm like, you want to be a musician. He's putting all his time into that. I'm not going to tell him about how hard it is to succeed because you don't know who's going to make it and who doesn't, right? But go for it, right? So I was so super excited that then not only him, but he's doing that. Then the other, Renee comes in and she's like, yeah, I'm his producer. Okay. And then another girl comes in and she's over there whipping out some rap lyrics like, wow, I mean, she's just free flowing, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm a musician and I'm lost. This is like a foreign language to me, but I am impressed. And I'm like, okay, you guys are growing what you're sowing, right? What do you really want? They really want that. And they really want it because they're already putting all the work into it. So when you ask yourself something like, what do you want? I want a nice fast car, like a Ferrari. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that?
Yeah, you heard it.
Okay, now I left Jasmine and I left Alfredo like the sauce at home.
Mm-hmm.
So that means,
mm-hmm.
Oscar.
Yep. I'm Officer Oscar. Black Lives Matter, bink.
They do.
Yes, I want to talk about cars because I am a police officer and cars are my thing. They're my jam, as some people might say.
Okay, well, tell us about this thing about wanting a fast car like a Ferrari.
Yes, do, but don't. The thing is about cars is that people drive too fast and then wrap them around a telephone pole. Has anyone here done that?
There might be, but I don't see anyone raising their hands.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, or you run into a bridge. So if you want a fast car, drive on a racetrack. Duh! Drive on a racetrack.
Okay, well, what if they really don't want the fast car?
I know, right? Some people just want the thrill of the air flowing through their hair. Or knocking their cap off. Yep. But they want the fancy cars because it feels cool.
Yeah, I could see that. Anybody here like a nice car?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else we should know?
Yes.
Okay.
Drive safely. I've seen too many bad accidents out there, people texting and driving their fast cars. Or their slow ones. I have a friend who says it's better to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow.
That's why I drive a Fiat.
Yeah.
Because it's not that fast.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes, are there any questions?
We can't take questions during a talk.
Really? Why not?
Well, we're getting filmed and stuff, and it's weird.
Oh. Well, afterwards. Maybe afterwards, if you have questions, you come talk to me about your cars. Unless I'm on duty, then I won't be here. So you go see her.
And I'll try to answer your questions.
Yep. Anyway, Officer Oscar here. Black Lives Matter. Bink. Goodbye.
He hit on the spot though, right? It's like, would it be great to have a great car? And then you realize, what, do I really want to spend that much money on a, $4,000 for one new tire? When you get the nicer cars, that's what you start paying. Then you go, okay, what I really want to do is just, fly around or feel cool or whatever. So figuring it out, what it is that you really want when you say, oh, I need a new partner. I need a new one. I'm going to turn in my old one for a new one. But what is it that you really want? Maybe you want to feel more alive. You want to feel special again. You want to feel important. What's happening that all of a sudden you're not feeling those things? Well, is there another way to get those things without trading in? We never trade up, though. The first one's always the best one. So if someone disses you, they're never trading up, you know. I used to say, I want to write, what is something I really want? I was at a church and like, what's something you really want? And I'm like, oh, I want to write a hit song. I want to write a song that makes it big, you know? And you ask me now and I'm like, I don't care, you know? Because what is it that I really want? I want to write songs that are significant to people and I want it out there so people can sing them and find comfort from them or joy in them or whatever. Do I really care if it gets on the radio or if I make a lot of money from it? It don't, because what I really want is I want to make sure that I have a good retirement. But does it have to be a hit song or a master book or whatever it is? Can't I say, and I say, no, I just want a nice retirement where everything is taken care of. And then I can work towards that. Because I ask myself, what am I doing now that I would do differently? And I go, no, I'm doing exactly what I want to do. How peaceful is that? So realize I'm actually spending my time sowing the very things I want, but the tension is so reduced because instead of like striving to get that hit song or striving to make that million or whatever, it's like, no, I'm just working towards having the kind of retirement I want to have. At this age, that's what we're thinking about. So I'm sorry. If you're younger, you're not thinking that. You're thinking like, how can I have more fun? Yeah. So whatever it is, though, but focusing in on that, is it really the fame? I still crack up at when I watch they make the big awards things so big, like the Academy Awards, and I think they're getting praise for acting. Couldn't we do like the best mechanic in our neighborhood between this and this and this, and these people get the best mechanic, the most compassionate person? I'm thinking, what are things that people really spend time on and really, really do? They really grow and sow, and we don't have an award for them. Yes, I see that head nod. Yes, that's what I would like to see happen, but that's a different world that I live in. So I'm going to summarize those two. One is the growing is the working towards what you're sowing. The sowing, getting to what it is that you really want. Because the more that gets closer to what you really want, you're going to be more at peace, and it's going to be easier to do the work to go towards that because they're going to be connected. You're not going to have this dissension between them, like, I want this, but I want to spend my time doing this. Well, then you really probably don't want that. What is it that you do want that you can align those things? So now I'm going to move to the bonus. Bonus, right? I've never heard anyone talk about it like this in this way, so I like this concept. Because I realized I was doing it the other day, and I went, ooh, this is cool. Do I do it all the time? No, but when I do it, it's really cool. Grow what others sow. When I'm interacting with people, so I'm on the Coal Point Association water department. On my island, there's 60 of us that have one well. It broke. Fortunately, we had another little well we could use, but we are in this, and we had E. coli. There was a major catastrophe, and we're all on the board, or all like volunteer, right? And so this is like a big issue. We have half of our lots still haven't been built because we don't have enough water to get out to them. So there can be some major contentions. So I sent out, we're having a meeting yesterday, and you just didn't know what it was going to be like. But I got to that meeting and I realized how relaxed I was. And we had prepped the day before, because I kept thinking, it doesn't matter what they say, I'm on their side. I don't have to defend anything we've done. I didn't break it. We are doing this. I don't have to defend where we're going, because they're here. We're given a report. And if they say, hey, I don't agree, blah, 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 I'm like, gosh, no one thought of that. I'm putting myself in their shoes thinking, what is it that they want to hear from us? What do they want to know? And I knew their big thing is a lot of times financially. They want to know when the new water system is going to get in and what's the financial implications, right? And so sure, I addressed those in the points that I was doing. And oh my gosh, nobody got mad. For the hour and a half, nobody got mad. Nobody pointed fingers, nobody yelled, nobody flipped us off. They might have, but I didn't see it. So, and people thanked us at the end. It was great. But I thought, for me, how at peace I was when I went in. I was up there busting jokes too, so that was good, and then it was like, this is great because I'm thinking about them. So anytime I get an email from them too, it's again, I'm thinking, well, what is it that they really want to know? It's not about me. I don't have to defend anything. And if we can make our way, navigate ourselves through life when we're dealing with somebody and they come at us for something, and we can automatically say, what is it that they need? What is it that they want? Not about like, what did I do? I didn't do that. Don't be blaming that on me. It doesn't matter. Can you turn it around? And when you're growing, what they're sowing is what is it that they want? What are their hopes? And what can I do to help make that happen? Oh my God. And go away. Because all of a sudden you can become partners in solving it. Wow, I never thought of that. Well, what do you want to do? What do you think's happening? Let's work on this together. Jump in here with us. So I just loved that concept of, putting yourself in their shoes. That's the bonus. Yeah. I am going to close with a song called, it's the Parable of the Soils. This is a song I wrote a long time ago. So it's supposed to be kind of like a teaching song, like, coming from the scriptures itself. It's really wordy, but it's kind of fun. And I just think I don't know. It's back in the 70s or 80s or something when, you were all those musicians were out and really like trying to say deep things with their songs. I don't know if I hit the mark, but that's what this is from. Okay, we gotta fix this one more time. For those of you that are on the camera, you're going, what's that? Why can't you keep that on her face? It's because my ear, no, I'm making that up. Duct tape, sweet duct tape. Or next time I come, I'm bringing the duct tape. Your internet's pretty fast, so I don't have to. Okay, a parable of the soils. What do you expect to see coming down to the wire? A flock of birds that feed, chowing down the truth. Where your heart turns hard and goes stone cold, and you tell them all to shoo. But where will you be hiding when they come for you? What do you expect to be coming down to the wire? A rocky soil with seeds waiting there to bloom. For your interest there, but then it's not. You've got something better to do. But when your interests do, who will pay for you? Are you gonna choose to nurture the seeds of God? Are you gonna grow to the sounds of holy words? When the soils don't keep the seeds and reap the harvest of love, those with ears will hear the heart of God. What do you expect to be coming down to the wire? A hardy soil of weeds reaching out for you. 'Cause the pressure's there to conform, and your clothes are all brand new. So where do the seeds of love richly dwell in you? Are you gonna grow to and nurture the seeds of God? Are you gonna grow to the sounds of holy words? When the soils don't keep the seeds and reap the harvest of love, those with ears will hear the heart of God. to be coming down to the wire. A mighty forest of wheat growing in the sun, with the light shines down upon your soul and the harvest of love. For you receive the seeds as the word of God. Are you gonna choose to nurture the seeds of God? Are you gonna grow to the sounds of holy words when the soils don't keep the seeds and reap the harvest of love? Those with ears will hear the heart. Those with ears will hear the heart of God.